everybody! So now that the paths were well marked with fences and had pretty flowers along the way and nice benches to sit on, more people from the village started to take walks in the forest. On the weekends, whole families brought their picnic baskets to the woods, and the forest rang out with the sounds of children laughing and playing. Pretty soon, Hansel and Gretel started finding garbage along the trail. Apple cores, orange and banana peels, old napkins, and they realized that they had forgotten to provide trash cans. They took care of this right away, and now the paths had fences, benches, trash cans, and pots filled with flowers. So that means that we need a new key. As you can see, our fence sections are still worth 10 steps. Just like the last video, we're going to represent that using 10 blue M&Ms. Oh, we need one more. There we go. Our benches are also still the same. They're worth 5 yellow M&Ms. Our trash cans are new. They're going to be represented by 2 orange M&Ms. And our flower pots are still 1 green M&M, representing 1 step. So I'm going to show you part of the path. We can see that this part of the path has 2 fence sections. How long is this section of the path? How do you know? So we know that the fence sections are worth 10 steps each. So we would have to get out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blue M&Ms for each section. 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. There's bench 1 and bench 2. Or sorry, fence 1 and fence 2. Let's see how many steps it took to get through 2 sections of fence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 steps. We can represent this using numbers as well as manipulatives. If I were to write this equation out, I would write it as 10 plus 10 equals 20. And it's a little bit hard for you guys to see, but I promise that I will write bigger on the next one. So moving down, we have different problems that we have to solve. So we're not always going to be working with 2 fence sections or 4 benches or 10 trash cans. It's always going to be something different. So, looking at the first one, it says, write and solve an addition equation to find out how long each path section is. So we're going to do this using numbers and our manipulatives. So we know that each bench is 5 steps. So I'm going to count out 5 yellows for the first bench and 5 yellows for the second bench. I can write that as 5, my first group, and 5 as my second group. Plus 5 equals, oh, sorry, plus we have one more unit here. We have a fence. So that means that we need 10 blues to represent the 10. Oops, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, guys. You fell. Okay, we're back in business. We have our 5 for the first bench, 5 for the second bench, and we need 10 to represent our fence. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm going to write my 10 right here. So 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 10 is 20. Let's count our manipulatives to make sure that we're right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We were correct. Clear our board for the next one. So for this, we have a fence first and then 2 benches. What do you think the equation would be for this part of the path? In what way is it similar to the equation that we just solved? So, just like the previous one, we have 2 benches, 1, 2, and 1 piece of fence. So we need 10 blues to represent our 10 steps. We need 5 yellows for the first 5 steps of bench, and 5 yellows for the second bench. So now we have 10 plus 5 plus 5 equals 10, 15, 20. Let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, we know that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. The next one gets a little trickier and starts incorporating our trash cans. So the first thing that we have is a piece of fence. We know that that's 10 steps. So I'm going to grab my 10 blue M&Ms to represent it. Next, we have 3 flower pots. So I need 3 green M&Ms. 1 plus 1 plus 1. Next, we have our trash can. That is worth 2 steps. And last but not least, we have a bench, and that is worth 5 steps. So let's see how many steps it took us to get down this section of path. We'll start with 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 20. Let's see if we were right. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. For this last problem, we have a bench, a section of fence, 2 flower pots, a trash can, and 1 more flower pot. So to start, we're going to need 5 yellow M&Ms for the 5 steps worth of bench. Next, we need 10 blue M&Ms to represent the 10 steps of the fence. Next, we need 2 green M&Ms because each flower pot is worth 1 step and there are 2 of them. Next, the trash can, which is worth 2 steps. And finally, the last flower pot. So our equation would look like 5 plus, how much is the fence worth? 10 plus 1 flower pot plus 1 flower pot plus a garbage can plus a flower pot. Let's see how many we have. 5 plus 10 is 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So it still took us 20 steps to get to the end of our path. For your homework tomorrow, you're going to be completing a sheet that looks very similar to the one that we did yesterday. So again, instead of using Unifix cubes, we're going to be using some sort of manipulative that you can find in your house. Just make sure that you can use 4 colors or 4 objects. So just like before, we have a specific number of objects that we can use on our paths. So we have 2 fences, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 4 benches. 2. Oh, we lost our last bench when the phone fell. There we go. We have 5 trash cans. 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, trash cans are worth 2 steps. And we have 10 flower pots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're all the objects that we need. So, similar to before, we're going to be using everything that we have in front of us. So we have to use all of the materials given on our paths. We have to use both fences, all 4 benches, all 5 trash cans, and all 10 flower pots. But we can use them in any way that we choose. This time, instead of our path being 10 steps long, our path is going to be 20 steps long. Now, you can't use this arrangement on your homework, but I'm going to demonstrate one way that you could solve this problem. So first, I'm going to have a bench. So that means that I need 5 yellows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next, I'm going to have a fence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lastly, I would like to have 2 trash cans. And then I'm going to end it with a flower pot. Another difference between this paper and the one that you did for Tuesday's homework is that now you have to write an equation for it. So I'm going to go ahead and color in my pieces. So I have 5 yellows to represent my bench. I have 10 blues to represent my fence. And now I have 2 trash cans. So I'm going to mark the first trash can. And then I'll mark the second trash can. And lastly, I have my solo flower pot. So if I were to go and write the equation for this section of path, I would have 5 steps for my bench, plus 10 steps for my fence, plus 2 steps for a trash can, plus 2 steps for another trash can, plus 1 for my flower pot. Let's see if I made all 20. 5 plus 10 is 15, plus 2 is 17, plus 2 is 19, plus 1 is 20. Remember, you can't use this arrangement, so try to come up with your own. You have to use all of the materials in order to complete all 3 rows. Be sure to be creating an equation to go along with your section of path as well. So remember, mine is 5 plus 10 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 equals 20. Get creative and have fun.